You ever pray for something like a new job, a relationship, a breakthrough, and it just feels like you're talking to a wall? Well, today we're going to deconstruct a prayer that has absolutely captivated millions online. It's called the Prayer for Open Doors. We're going to dive in and explore the really powerful framework it uses to tackle that exact feeling of being totally stuck.
We've all been there, right? Staring at a closed door. Maybe it's a promotion that you got passed over for, a business that's just not getting off the ground, or some personal goal that feels impossibly far away. And that closed door metaphor, man, it's potent because it just signifies a hard stop, a rejection, the end of the line. This prayer right here, it taps directly into that universal feeling of hitting a wall. And honestly, that's a huge reason why it's so popular.
And you know what? The prayer's narrative really gets that. It completely understands that after a while, unanswered requests, well, they can just lead to silence. Disappointment just has this way of quieting our hopes, right? It makes us hesitant to ask again for what we really, truly want or need. It actually validates that feeling of just wanting to give up.
So, how does this prayer break through that silence? Okay, it doesn't start with some kind of magic formula. It starts by building a solid foundation of hope, and it anchors it in a very specific, very powerful promise.
This one verse, this is basically the engine of the entire prayer. And notice, it's framed not as some gentle suggestion, but as a direct command. Do not give up. Keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. It's presented as the fundamental reason to even bother trying again in the first place.
Now, what's really cool here is how the prayer gets tactical. It takes that one verse and boom, turns it into a three-step process for persistence. It's not about a one-time ask, but a continuous, active pursuit. See how it reframes the action? It goes from being a single attempt to an ongoing strategy.
And right here, this is the core call to action. It's basically saying, hey, shake off the dust of all those past disappointments. The argument is that the promise hasn't expired, and it's time to get back in the game, to re-engage with this process, but this time with a renewed faith that the outcome can actually be different.
Okay, but what about those doors that just seem impossible to open, no matter how much you knock? This is where the prayer's logic takes a fascinating pivot. It introduces a real game-changing concept, the idea of a divine key.
So the prayer brings in this incredibly powerful image, the key of David. I want you to think of it like the ultimate master key. It's a symbol of divine authority that can unlock any door, no matter how securely you think it's barred. It suggests a power that operates totally outside the normal rules of cause and effect.
And this right here, this just brilliantly illustrates the prayer's central point. Look, our human effort, our education, our connections, our hard work, all that stuff is important for sure. But the divine key, that operates on a whole other level. It's positioned as the force that can override circumstances and unlock the things that our human effort alone just can't.
In the imagery, it just gets even more powerful. We're not just talking about quietly unlocking doors anymore. We're talking about shattering them. This verse paints this picture of a divine force that is actively clearing your path, literally breaking through any obstacle in its way. It just adds this element of unstoppable force to the whole idea.
And here's where it all gets personal. The prayer takes this powerful, kind of abstract idea of a divine key and applies it directly to the areas of our lives where we feel the most stuck. So this isn't just theology, It's a practical tool aimed at our careers, our finances, our relationships. It's all about bringing this divine power into our everyday lives.
But of course, that leads us to the toughest question, the one that everybody eventually asks. What happens when the doors stay shut? What about all those prayers that seem to go unanswered? Well, the prayers framework has a powerful answer for this too, and it's all about reframing rejection.
The prayer's entire psychological answer to those unanswered requests, it's all rooted in this one profound verse from the book of Romans. It's a verse that has brought comfort and hope to millions because it's all about finding purpose even in the pain of that closed door.
And this verse, it just reframes everything. It argues that in the grand scheme of things, nothing is wasted. Every single closed door, every delay, every rejection, it's not a mistake. It's an integral part of a larger, more beautiful plan. That is a radical shift in perspective.
And check this out. This is that powerful reframe in action. A closed door? Nope, that's just a divine redirection. A long delay? Well, that's just a period of necessary preparation. Every single setback is seen not as a failure, but as a setup for something even greater. It's a mechanism for turning a loss into a future gain.
So what this prayer encourages us to do is to just let go of the bitterness, the confusion, the endless whys that can haunt us when things don't work out. Instead of demanding an explanation for the past, it invites us to trust the process of the future, to believe that even the detours and delays are leading us somewhere better.
So what can we really learn from the structure of this prayer, regardless of our own personal beliefs? I think it's a powerful reminder that the stories we tell ourselves about our failures, our setbacks, and our closed doors, they have the power to shape our reality. And sometimes, the most powerful thing we can do is just choose to tell a different story.